So, following the Wade Christofferson story, a question I have is whether this will lead to change in church policy around abuse and reporting it to the authorities. So, this isn't a new problem. There have been many cases like this, but I don't think any of them have directly involved an apostle before. So, I think that could make a difference. So, the story, the overall timeline as it looks, according to the allegations from Floodlit and everything that's been reported in the media, it appears that, at least allegedly, Elder Christofferson's brother, Wade Christofferson, sexually abused children in his wards for decades. When his bishops had this reported to them, they put him through the repentance process, not taking the sacrament, excommunication, eventual rebaptism, and apparently a mark on his record that indicated that, he was dangerous, should not be around children, or however exactly that mark appears, or what exactly it says. Apparently it was removed. So this known predator was essentially allowed to prey on the entire church populace because he had allegedly repented. No authorities had been contacted. And flash forward some decades, and you have what appears to be Wade Christofferson sexually abusing young family members of his. It's looking like they're the grandchildren of one of his brothers. The details are a little bit fuzzy, but that's certainly how it appears. It certainly appears to be a family connection. It's not really clear otherwise how a man, and I want to say he was in Idaho at that time, would be able to regularly FaceTime with a young girl in Utah, and just other connecting details. So that appears to be the case. And if all the alleged details are true, then Wade Christofferson was covered for by his leaders. He was never reported to the authorities, and potentially the cover-up goes quite high. It could even go up to Elder Christofferson. I'm not going to say it definitively did, but it's possible. If you're just honest with the details, you have to admit it's possible. His brother was a general authority at the time. You do have to wonder whether that made a difference in him being treated so with such kid gloves by his leaders, and given so much access to future callings that involve children, and all this. You really have to wonder if his brother being a general authority made a difference. But so if the alleged details are all true, then the horrible thing to say is that the church's lax policy allowed Wade to have the freedom to go on to abuse Elder Christofferson's grand nieces or nephews. And if that's true, I think that would potentially motivate change, because he's such a high-up figure and that's so close to home. So I suppose we'll have to see. And I'm not taking pleasure in that, by the way. That's awful.